Well, I would like to officially welcome everybody to the new Star Atlas Townhall. We are going to, we have quite a schedule today. We want to prioritize a live Q&A. So Michael, I hope that you're ready because you will have some good questions asked to you for sure. Yeah, let's go straight into business. We'll have also Pablo on stage. Please join Pablo, and we have this schedule with we will start doing some like a review of the past week. Pretty intense week, but as always, really fun to be part of the team and all that we're launching. We were speaking with Pablo on a Twitter live that we went crazy and launched three things at the exact same time. So yeah, that's a pretty that was a pretty intense hour, but it went great. Before we start, I would like to give a huge shout out to everyone in the chat, to everyone in the community, because we have been growing like crazy the past weeks, and everyone has been helping a lot on onboarding new people, and we have seen also voice chats going on here in the community, where our most involved community members open the chat to answer questions from newcomers. So a big shout out to everyone out there in the community. So yeah, Michael, tell me, how are you today?
Doing great every day, Sati. I also would like to give a little shout out to all of those marvelous creatures at the front of the stage for boosting Discord for us. It allows us to post an infinite amount of GIFs and just kind of play around in Discord every evening whenever there's time. So thank you guys again for the server boost. And you know, Santi, I'm sure we're going to have some more people trickling in here over time. What I'd actually like to do is just take 2 minutes. I'm pretty much living almost exclusively on coffee right now. I'm going to make another coffee. Pablo, if you're there, you know, we've had a really blockbuster week on, you know, all of the growth across the community, as well as, you know, you and Mate and the whole team on the comms, marketing, and biz dev side. Just a lot of relationships forming. And so it would be great if you could maybe give us a little update on, or give the community an update on what growth is looking like for us right now, just to demonstrate how much interest there is out there. And you know what, as a way to kick that off, maybe by a show of hands out there, raise your hand if you can't wait to get in and start playing Star Atlas.
Let's go. So yeah, go make a coffee, Michael. I know that you are from interview to interview. It's been insane for you. And yeah, we'll cover you with Pablo.
Thanks, man. I think we can just close up shop and nobody's interested, Santi. So you know.
Oh, probably right. I don't have it enabled. Let me change it.
Yeah, no, man. The crowd's going wild. I think you should just jump off stage and do a little bit of crowd surfing. I'm just gonna pretend I'm just gonna pretend that I'm running down the hall, high-fiving people, and there's fireworks going off, and just have a party here, because that's really how it feels like, right? It's like this virtual space, and a completely high energy opening up with Mate, DJ Star Savage, just killing it with the beats. Thank you, man. As far as our week, it's been amazing. We run quite the strong framework as a baseline in regards to our revenue operations team, but we are just a vehicle to deliver the product that begins with engineering, working on the alien technology led by Jacob, and of course on the product side of all the mystical wizardry led by Danny and his amazing team that are building out the experience and the creative side that is Star Atlas. So you guys, the Star Atlas engineering team and product team make our life super easy and allows us to really optimize our efforts on our end. So huge shout out to the Star Atlas team, in particular to the operations team, revenue operations team, Santi, Mate, Sylvia, and Anthony. Huge high fives and thank yous for putting in the effort that you have been throughout the year, and especially this past couple weeks. And of course, it doesn't. I can't conclude by saying thanks to Michael. Michael, as he's getting a cup of coffee, but being the voice and being the face of Star Atlas is not easy. Conceptualizing the vision and being able to harness the power that the community is also providing into a very strong product. We see a lot of product coming from Michael's team around the economic side, the financial side as well, and really across the board in the company. So thanks, Michael, for leading out the pack here, man. Going back to revenue operations, what's been going on? How are we kind of building this beautiful ecosystem that is Star Atlas? We have I'll get cozy with everyone here. I name our projects, at least in the RevOps team, by animals. So we got Jaguar North 11, which has been a project since the inception in around January. Our go-to-market strategy, which consists of the different levels of how we engage with the community over time. So right now we're just really getting a pulse for getting feedback from our product, getting feedback from our Discord, Telegram, Twitter, and being able to loop that back into the project and engineering teams is really, really important for us. So Jaguar North 11 consists of strategy, partnerships, and various insights. To give you a sense of the lay of land, we also have a marketing intelligence team, which really covers our campaign performance, our KPI reports, our marketing tech stack, marketing partners, and in ways that we could enhance the growth of the community through rewards and referral programs, which are going to be coming up here very, very soon, and for us to deploy across the community. And then, of course, our Star Atlas Council, which is really overseeing our community communications, but then also harnessing the power of research and innovation to bring forth new programs that are going to continue to provide Star Atlas the ability to be thought leaders in this space and be a part of the conversation that can hopefully one day drive standardized products across metaverses that will allow us to really, really realize the visions that we have to go from Star Atlas to another platform. And we use OKR, so that's objectives and key results. Yeah, Santi, go ahead, man.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask you a question because you, as a co-founder of Star Atlas, how do you feel when we start launching everything? Like when the trailer came live, the website, how do you feel?
We use Discord as our virtual headquarters, right? It's this massive building where over 100 souls from different parts of the world are communicating and working on their products, their projects, and communicating with their teams. And when we did launch the trailer, I remember sending our co-founder partners, Michael, Jacob, and Danny, a message saying that I will forever remember this day, and I mean it, because it was really special, to work on something for such a long time, and to work on something honestly without being present, like physically present, right? I mean, it's completely virtual. So putting this product out there, a product that has been developed by a lot of people, a lot of people with various visions that have implications for the final product, but then also a lot of people that work on really, really small details. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if just light shading or the title for the copy of the end card. Everything is a collective product at the end of the day, right? So we couldn't do it alone, and I think just harnessing the power of the collective internally at Star Atlas, building that company culture, is one of the most I think rewarding things that I'm experiencing on my end. It's not easy. It doesn't come without headbutting. It doesn't come without feeling like we dropped the ball somewhere, or identifying gaps. But all of the hard work and the extra hours and the time away from our loved ones, at that moment, it's like, it's worth it, And so that's a little bit of how I felt that day.
Yeah, man. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. I think that we have Michael back as well.
Cool.
Yeah, no, I've been listening in, and one of the benefits of Pablo and I at least living in the same city is that when we need to get down to brass tacks, we just wrap up the hands, and we step in the ring for a little bit and sort that out. So, and joking, of course, but it really is incredible just seeing the team grow the way that it has, and the way that we're coordinating all of these efforts on a really fully decentralized company where, as Pablo said, there's people working on Star Atlas and on details of Star Atlas from 15 or 16 different countries around the world, and we're still able to deliver with efficiency a product out to the community. And the community, you all listening in right now, are a major component of that as well. So I know we've said it before, but we do listen to your feedback. We do take account of your feedback, and ultimately this is about what you want to see. And we can get more into specifics on like the integration of the DAO over time, and just how powerful your vote, your opinion, and your proposals will be in the future evolution of Star Atlas. So you're all here very early. I want to make one point, and I really I just discussed this with Arcane Bear on the live stream on YouTube. So this may be redundant for some of you, but this for us is more of a lifelong journey. And so we know that everybody is interested in getting to play the game and getting access to these financial resources and models and mechanics that we're going to be introducing, and being able to live in a world outside of whatever geographic location you live in. But try to appreciate the path as well, and just how much you get to influence that and be a part of that, and see this thing evolve and grow and expand over time. So it's not entirely about the destination. It's about all of the progress and developments and releases and influence over time. So hopefully you all do appreciate that. With that said, let's maybe we can reset the raised hands here, Santi, just because I do want to make sure we take time for questions, and we get people up here who do have a question for us. But maybe just a couple of quick additional updates from my side.
Yeah, let's start from the past, like the past week, and then we will go into the future, and then we jump into Q&A.
Yeah, and I know we're doing these a bit more regularly, so I won't go full scope back to January, but just starting, I'm very, very happy with the outcome of the game economic and tokenomic paper that was released on the 17th. Again, great team that we were working with at Republic. We also have Delphi Digital that is providing some influence on economics. And so, the idea is that we're really trying to build out a fully sustainable and stable economy over time, for which value grows and increases, and that won't collapse ultimately in the future. We have a major opportunity to kind of re-envision the way that society works at large. And so we are putting a lot of energy and effort into ensuring that what we deliver is sustainable. So the white, that white paper came out. The website is absolutely beautiful. That was the immersive experience that we wanted to capture. That portal that you're looking at, going into the eye of the metaverse when you first land on the page, is I don't think we could have encapsulated that any better. That's your entry point, right? We are opening the door to you now to come into the metaverse and to come into Star Atlas. So that was beautiful. The cinematic teaser trailer that came out, I'm not joking when I say that I've watched that thing probably 300 times now, and in between calls and in between meetings, I'll just play it on a loop. So more to come from that, by the way. That was just part one, and Danny gave us a great overview and kind of update on where the next part of that trailer is going. And you won't have to wait as long for this next one as you did for the first version. So definitely stay tuned. And yeah, more to come on that side. So we also are in the midst of the token generation event. Hopefully you guys were able to absorb all of the information that we were trying to get out there. The feedback we got was that it was complicated. I think Sometimes we approach this, or at least I do personally, from more of a crypto native standpoint. We do understand that we have a lot of new people to crypto, and we understand the potential of this game attracting a lot of people into crypto. So we tried to structure it, though, in a way that would be incredibly fair and distribute it out. And so we went with multiple venues. Yes, they all have their own kind of requirements to get access, but at the end of the day, the way that it was structured ensures a pretty equal distribution across multiple people, many people, as opposed to individuals being able to accumulate a substantial amount of those free floating tokens. And they will be important, Atlas and Polis will be important to gameplay, but I would just caveat it and say that, it's not going to be essential to get into the game with or without Atlas or Polis. You will still be able to access the game, and major event upcoming for us is that Galactic Asset offering, where we'll start releasing ships and land and characters and crew members and, all of the NFTs that we've described in the past. So TG is well underway. Most of the closing dates for staking were, I believe, the 25th or the 26th. I think you still have a little bit of time on Apollo X if you want to run, if you want to take a chance there. And if you do have any of the posters, or if you had them on the 25th when we took our own internal snapshot, there is a pool that's dedicated to people that were early supporters of Star Atlas. And so there's a guaranteed ticketing system and guaranteed allocation through Apollo X. It's still running, and I think that closes on either the 30th or 31st. Nevertheless, check the announcement for a definitive date. But outside of that, with the token launch coming, the team worked really hard and got us listed on CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap. So you can look for Star Atlas and Star Atlas DAO. Star Atlas is the Atlas token, and the DAO is the Polis token. And so really excited to see some coin metrics being tracked there, and see the growth over time of our economy. The badge rewards, as I mentioned, a part of our snapshot, those will be going out. We did not distribute those on the 26th as we anticipated, simply because it wasn't really necessary. We ended up creating, the engineering team developed out an API that would allow us to feed data to both Radium and to Apollo X. So we fed them the ticket data and did not require that the user actually held the badge at the time. But all of those bonus rewards are going to be coming out within a week. So check your inventory, and I hope you guys are excited about all those bonuses that you guys got. OpenSea buyers, this was still a looming question, and I think we've come up with a really elegant solution on how to handle that. Apologies, guys. We do try to leverage external protocols and technology whenever possible, because the reality is that allows us to develop at a substantially faster pace, and so leveraging tools from the Solana ecosystem or Project Serum ecosystem, and just other external development tools like Wormhole means we don't have to build it. And so we did not get access to that in time for the IEO or IDOs, but again, we have a solution in place we think you'll be happy with. Everybody's going to be made whole. And so the idea is that, we don't want anybody to get left behind, even if it's a very small proportion of our community. Engineering side of the business is going quite well. We've talked about roadmap ahead quite a bit, so look forward to mini game registration coming out in early September, and then game features to start rolling out, fairly rapidly and consistently for the rest of the year, going into Q1 of 2022. And the last part is, and again, talk about this a lot on the interviews, of which there were something like 15 this week. So big shout out to Sylvia. She was managing that, a lot of our communication relationships, and it was a busy week, but there is a lot of information floating around. So highly recommend watching some of those, because a lot of that is driven by community questions as well. And so if you don't feel that you get enough time in the town halls, watch some of those recordings to kind of keep up to date with all of the things going on. But super exciting for us is that we do have this full production team now that's working in Unreal Engine 5. And so we're hopeful that we'll start delivering those 3D experiences to players in the near future. Possible that we release some content as early as December of this year. But if not, I would look for early next year, there's actually going to be an experience that you're going to be able to engage in, and that initial experience will be a showroom. It's, as I said, we're not trying to release the entire product at once. So this is not full gameplay mechanics, but it does let you enter into the digital space and walk around a beautifully architected building and sort through and look through various ship assets, and then even purchase those. So you can customize them, you can configure them, and you can even purchase them through this Unreal experience. So a lot on the horizon. Again, let's enjoy the journey. Let's enjoy the path together. And we're building something that's beautiful and amazing here and really transformative. So happy you're all here with us.
Well, Michael, thank you. Thank you as always for all the details that you bring into the table. And yeah, I think that if you're okay with it, we can jump right into Q&A. I will invite Danny if he wants to join today. I will invite him to speak because I know that a lot of questions will come from the product side. So if you have any questions, please raise your hand. We will start letting people in to the Q&A. Hello, Davey. How are you?
Good morning to everyone. First, I would just like to start by thanking the team. As Swagger said, it's an amazing project, um, and also the community. It's been an amazing 2 months for me. So I'll get straight to the point. Um, uh, I've been bothering with this question about the GAO. Would there be further documents for it, and is there a price guide for the ships and all?
Yeah, it's a good question. Had a really good discussion with the Republic team yesterday on that. We have been working through the price modeling on it. Again, guys, we're moving very, very quickly here and trying to get features available to everyone as soon as possible and accesses as soon as possible. So we did not want to overcommit on what type of information would be available in advance of the Galactic asset offering, but based on the review of materials yesterday, it looks like we have we're in a pretty solid position with respect to rarity of assets, pricing of assets, and the multiple tiers of asset categories or ship classifications that will exist. And so we are working on some collateral material, marketing material that we'll be able to share with the community. I do think we'll get that out. It might not be substantially in advance of when we go live with the Galactic asset offering, but it will at least allow you to be more informed as you're making decisions about what ships and land and models and things, NFTs you want to purchase from us.
Thanks for the answer, Michael.
You. Could I add a follow-up question?
Yeah, do it.
Okay, so in my country, Axie Infinity is like being viewed. They are in a way viewing it to tax the company. So it might like sound impossible, but if a nation is going to look into Star Atlas and give them like a tax, something like that, how would the team handle that, or would the team be prepared for something like that?
Well, first and foremost, we are not CPAs. We're not professional accountants. We're not in a position to provide any type of financial advice or tax reporting advice. I think what tools we would be able to deliver to the player over time would just be reports, maybe based on actions in the game. I will say that's also not a feature that we're looking at building out immediately. So you would be responsible for tracking all of your kind of financial transactions in game and reporting that to the appropriate authorities. I guess while what we're building is incredibly innovative and transformative, we will have to find a meeting point with existing legacy infrastructure and government. So don't expect all of those tools to come from us right away, though. You will have some responsibility as an engaged player and consumer of this product. And what we would look towards, as I mentioned earlier, is external protocols that maybe can help make that process a little more seamless or easy for our users. But just one final point on it is that even most crypto exchanges, right? And I've been trading on crypto exchanges since 2013. they don't deliver end-of-year financial reports with your trading activity, nor do I know if they even report to the IRS about things like cost basis and gains and losses. So, this is all of our responsibility of being pioneers in the space. And so, again, I would just emphasize, you would have some burden of responsibility there as well.
Thank you so much. Have a good one, lads.
Thanks, Davey. Appreciate the questions, man.
Thanks, Davey. Before we let someone else in, I would like to give a huge shout out to everyone who's here. We have 480 people live right now. It's insane. So thank you everyone for the support. I will let someone else in right now. Welcome to the stage.
Yeah, thank you guys. I just want to give a big shout out to the team. I just found you guys a couple days back. Community's been great. You guys are actually interacting with the community. It's great. But finding this game, I've realized this is just a life changer. So I've been telling a lot of people that I know, console players, PC players, and just everybody that I know, if there was any way right now we could clip this later, but just give a message to newcomers that are on console and just people in the world what to look forward to, and just kind of give them a little bit of an overview, like a welcome message, and if that kind of makes sense, just like an invite message to people that I tell, and everybody else that in the community that tells people about this project. If you could give just here's what we are, here's what we're gonna do, and in the simplest form, maybe.
Yeah, no, it's a great point. We do have a lot of new people in the audience again, so it's always good to kind of recap on what the vision is. From our standpoint, we have a lot of expertise in game development, as well as economics and marketing and the crypto ecosystem and blockchain ecosystem. So really what we're doing here is transforming traditional gaming, but we are developing out to a higher quality standard than what we've seen in crypto gaming to date. That means that we're developing to AAA. We're using one of the most, if not the most, advanced game engines that exist out there in Unreal Engine 5. The general game genre is space-themed MMO, incorporating space exploration, territory control, and political domination. Now, the blockchain mechanics that we introduce are true asset ownership for players. And this is delivered via NFTs. And that is really radical in the sense that it takes away this transactional nature of traditional games, wherein you're kind of renting space in the game by paying the fee to get access to it and even purchasing items in that game. But there's no way to extract that value when you're done playing. So very rental based in the sense that it's yours while you're there, but once you leave, all of the value you created is stuck there, right? And so in our model, we actually give players the potential to own assets and recover value over time. And so if you're buying a ship to play Star Atlas, you get all of the entertainment value and all of the intrinsic value of the asset, which can also generate income for the player. But at the end of that experience, should you want to leave, you can also turn around and sell your assets back on the fully decentralized Serum integrated decentralized exchange and marketplace that we've created. Now, beyond that, the way that we actually enable financial rewards for players is through our dual token system, Atlas and Polis. Atlas is call it the gold of the metaverse, of the universe. All of your operating costs as well as earnings will be denominated in Atlas. But we further empower the player to utilize Polis in our governance system, which means, as I said, you as an individual stakeholder get to help influence and determine what this product turns into in the long term. And then beyond that, we also have DeFi integrated into the game UI as well, which will allow players to further compound yield and income from the earnings of the game. So that's pretty concise. I want to keep it kind of simple. I hope that helps address your request. And I will say, we're certainly working on marketing materials that make the onboarding of new users much easier. We want to reduce friction as much as possible, and hopefully things like public interviews and public interaction and other content that we release will make that easier over time.
No, I think that was perfect. Thank you very much, because like I try to tell a lot of people, like you said, we're all used to gaming assets where we own in game, but we can't actually take them out of there, and we also don't have a way to possibly the assets that we do have, sell them, make money, and possibly pay bills with them. So Yeah, that was perfect. Thank you for summing that up. Thank you very much, team.
And my pleasure, man. And saw the Star Atlas shirt that you printed out. We'd love to see that early engagement and contribution. So very cool. And thank you for your support.
Thank you.
Thanks for the great question. We have also decentralized here. Welcome to the stage. How are you?
I'm doing great. How you guys doing, gentlemen? All right, I'll just jump
Great.
into it. In the US, there's the 700-pound gorilla, probably with us having the token distribution and launch so close, is once the token actually goes live for exchanges, will Star Atlas team be making sure that there's liquidity on Solana for decentralized exchange? So, everyone wants to get more tokens, but primarily so US citizens that weren't able to get the allocations they wish they could have gotten will have access to the token when it sells on day one.
Yeah, it's a really sensitive subject, and not something that we can really interfere with or engage in directly. It's part of the regulatory landscape of the United States. I think across all projects in the crypto ecosystem, there's a lack of access to U.S. users just because of the long reach of the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission. So, in terms of liquidity providing, we aren't providing any direct liquidity. There are liquidity provisions in place that will enable that for any partners who do decide that they want to list us on their exchange. But that decision and any influence on whether or not we are listed or when is really outside of our control. These are all third parties that decide it if and when they want to launch us, list us, and what kind of liquidity exists there. So it's kind of a half answer. I can't give you too much more than that. But we as a company are operating, in the best interest of our long-term prospects, which is to ensure we're not in conflict with any regulatory compliance that exists out there.
Appreciate that answer, Swagner. I just need to move. The other part of my question was you mentioned something about this, Swagner, before I had a chance to ask my question. So it was very interesting that you touched base on it. DeFi within Star Atlas. A random question. When we have DeFi incorporated into Star Atlas, will it be within the metaverse, or will it be traditionally like at a website where we go interact with the token, some kind of GUI there? Or will there actually be DeFi representation within the metaverse when we're actually in the game experience? And that's it for me.
Yeah, another good question. So we're not, just to be clear, we aren't developing the DeFi protocols. These primitives already exist out there. It's one of the fastest growing sectors across crypto, and especially within the Solana ecosystem, there's a number of protocols that are coming online and really great tool sets for the individual. But to respond to your question directly, we are building these tools. We will be working on these third-party integrations into the game user interface. So you'll actually be able to, while you're playing, stop at a trading deck and maybe take some of your reserves that are in your wallet and deploy those to an AMM or a liquidity pool, or even lend those out to other players. But those are all third-party integrations that we're facilitating.
Thank you for you guys' time. Thank you.
Thank you.
How are you feeling, Michael, so far?
I'm juiced up, Santi. Feeling good.
The coffee, was it good?
It was good. I have an espresso machine in my house, so I'm living, like
Nice.
I said, on espresso.
En, welcome to the stage.
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Doing great. You?
Okay, so basically, what I wanted to know was if there's going to be aiming mechanics implemented to the game, because so far, most games have aim that rely heavily on aim. You don't physically have to turn up to a LAN, use their provided hardware and peripherals. They're usually doomed to fail because if there's a game, you can find a way to cheat, you can find a way to hack, and it's much easier if there are aiming mechanics.
I know Danny's real busy. This would probably be a better question for him to address. I think my personal preference would be to have some aim, simply because it does introduce a higher degree of skill. Fully appreciate what you're saying about people utilizing either hardware aim assist, or the disparity between console and PC aim assist. But I still think that the skill requirement of actually aiming yourself would be preferential, but don't quote me on any of this because that's kind of to be determined as we get further along in in full production development, and also, you know, the preferences of Danny, our Chief Product Officer.
Okay. Thank you. That was a great response. I have one more question, if that's okay with you guys.
Go ahead. No problem.
Basically, obviously, since this involves real people, real money, if someone is cheating, is it possible to file a lawsuit against them?
Again, that's another semi-difficult question to answer. I mean, I think if you've interacted with our marketplace at all, you'll see that there is no real user registration process. These are these are fully decentralized markets that are integrated, and really the sole requirement is that you have a Solana wallet. So we're not really going after personally identifiable information at this stage, unless that becomes a requirement for us. So it would be nearly impossible using only a wallet address to determine who somebody is, right?
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you guys very much.
Thanks. We should start bringing people from legal to the town hall as well, Michael. What do you think?
I'm sure that would be exhilarating.
We have Body 3 here in stage. Welcome.
Hey, thank you guys. I was just wondering if the game will be available. I have a Mac laptop. Do I need to get a Windows PC? That's my question.
Yeah, we have multiple versions of the game that are rolling out, and to preface, what's important about that is our underlying data structure is mostly on chain, and the aspiration is to go entirely on chain in the future. And so that means that cross platforms would be would synchronize, right? So actions in one environment, whether it be mobile, in browser, or in Unreal, would all essentially result in the same impact on the universe. So, you know, you on a Mac, you would be able to start playing our mini game when that comes out, and you could live in the mini game in perpetuity. We do anticipate fully supporting that long term, so we can provide greater access to people that don't have, you know, specific types of hardware or the computing hardware necessary to play at full scale. So, and then ultimately going into the future, possibly building out a mobile version of this game with some limited feature set is also a potential reality. So, yeah, but you're good with your Mac right now to be able to play in browser.
On that note, are you going to be able to use the same assets on different platforms? Because it sounds like that might be possible. Or would you have to select the asset to be on one of those platforms?
They technically all live on the same platform already. They live on the Solana blockchain. So it's just, you know, it's an engineering question of pulling that data from the blockchain into the client itself, and that could be, again, a mobile app. It could be in browser, or it could be inside Unreal Engine. So, but the database itself is the blockchain. So now the visual representation of those assets will certainly be different across the platform that you're using. You know, we already have over 500 gigs of game assets, and we're still very early in development here. So, you know, you're not going to be able to download that type of data on your phone. Again, might be speaking out of place here, the way that we compress files and deliver data, but you know, the best, most immersive experience will be an Unreal Engine.
Right on. Thank you so much.
You bet.
Thank you.
Hey, Ron.
Hey, Ron.
Hey guys. Well, my question was just to see if how can I put it? I'm new to this as well. Just about 2 weeks in, as far as, you know, following you guys and just catching up on information. But I did hear that you will actually be able to have some drops coming soon, or did we actually miss them? And did I also overhear that there was some way to access assets, or as making purchases for ships already? And just feel free to let us know any more information for as that's concerned. Thank you.
Okay, great. So yeah, the asset drops that you're referring to are probably associated with the Rebirth campaign that we ran from April 24th through July 24th. And they are, it's a tiered reward system that was associated with the purchase and ownership of those assets. So we did take a snapshot on the 25th at 8 a.m. PDT. So if you held those assets in your wallet on that date, then you'll be getting some of these game assets that we're releasing. You know, to be clear, they're not free loot drops. They were based on some support demonstrated by owning posters earlier on. So those will be coming out real soon. And then the Galactic Asset Offering Marketplace is not yet available, but that's coming up in early September, and you'll be able to purchase ships and land and all of the other NFTs that we have spec'd out. Those will start coming online in September.
Okay, great news. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And is your name from the Key and Peele skit, or?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that was a good one, man. Substitute teacher. Yeah, thank you for the question. And
all right, thanks, guys.
Good to have you here.
Thanks. We have Kraymot here. I don't know if that's the correct pronunciation, as always. Welcome to the stage.
Hey, hi. Thank you. Thanks a lot. I was working on my on my physical job, so I was just listening to your conversation, guys. I honestly, it's a great talk right now, and I'm really new to this whole system and everything what's going on. But my question was, maybe I will repeat someone, but my question was about the tokens that you just spoke, Michael, and about the wallet. So if you can just emphasize on that, like Solana wallet, I'm just hearing it for the first time. Is it like already a token that exists that we can just freely purchase, exchange our ETH, let's say, to Solana, and then just keep Solana? And then how it's going to work for the tokens that you're introducing, guys? Is it already available that we can purchase in stock, or it's just something that it's coming up? So that would be my question. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. And you mentioned Ethereum, so I'll just draw the comparison to MetaMask, which is what most of the Solana wallets are kind of reflecting in the Solana ecosystem. I'm particularly fond of Phantom Wallet, really great UI. They're going to have wormhole functionality built in. They're going to have the decentralized exchange process to convert between currencies, the cryptocurrencies built in. And they also have full support for NFT assets on Solana that conform to the Metaplex standard, which we do. And so if you go to the NFT tab, you'll see, currently you would see all of your Star Atlas posters, but in the near future, you'll see ships and other assets that we release as well, all in one place. And so it functions very much like MetaMask in-browser plugin. You can either, you can kind of store your seed phrase and just use it in browser, or you can connect a hardware wallet. With respect to our tokens, they are not tradable right now. We were going through a token generation event, and so that's kind of the initial sale and access to those tokens. Once again, they'll be tradable as soon as exchanges decide that they want to open up access to trading on those. So you can look for that possibly in the near future at the conclusion of the token generation event.
Right, perfect. And I assume there will be the announcements here on Discord or on the website itself, right? Or Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, we announce across all channels. So Telegram, Twitter, Discord, of course, and the community is very supportive in helping us share that information and also answer questions. So, and newsletters going out as well on our Medium page. So there's plenty of resources for information, and we try to keep everybody as up to date as possible about just the progress that we're making.
Perfect. Thanks. And one more last question, if you allow me, please. About these assets that can be purchased, you mentioned that there will be a marketplace, designed for this. But is it like a marketplace, like a unique marketplace, or we will be able to see it on OpenSpace and other platforms, let's say?
Yeah, we are. This is maybe kind of an announcement, but we are going to be fully deprecating support for any alternative chain like Ethereum or OpenSea assets for future snapshots and future drops. It's kind of created friction for us in our own operations, just the way that everything kind of transpired with the Rebirth loot drop. So we're very focused and very passionate about the Solana ecosystem. And so that's where all of our support will be for the immediate future. However, this is crypto. It's fully decentralized. And so anybody can create a marketplace where you can trade assets on a different chain. And when bridges get implemented like Wormhole, which will allow you to move assets seamlessly between Solana and Ethereum, then if you'd like to trade those on OpenSea, you'd be welcome to do so. But just from a company support standpoint, we're going to be encouraging everybody to move their assets onto Solana. It's better for the user. It's a cheaper experience, and it's a lot faster. So we're focused on that. I would also say that one of the major benefits of operating with the Project Serum or Serum Dex integration is that those are all what's called a central limit order book. And so you get the aggregation of all liquidity across the entire ecosystem, regardless of which marketplace you operate in. So our marketplace is exclusive to Star Atlas assets, but there are many other marketplaces that are coming online that would have visibility into the market pairs, and you could trade those there as well if that's your preference.
Perfect. Thanks a lot for your time, and good luck with everything.
Yeah, thanks so much, man. Welcome. I
Thanks
think
for joining
Funcracker.
us.
I think we're just going to have to hire Funcracker so he gets the inside
Yeah,
look.
man.
Yeah,
Welcome,
that sounds
Funcracker.
that sounds awesome, guys. Thank you very much for inviting me back on stage once more. So first off, I want to shout out to the whole team. Congratulations on the website launch and the awesome trailer that you've released the past week. Really great job. The website is an absolute gem. Yeah, I mean, really astounding work, folks. So I have a question. I know Danny is super busy. I think it would be really up his alley, but I think, Michael, you're also going to do a great job at answering this. So the economic paper outlines a few reasons why it would make sense for corporations and players to embrace a single faction with the regional faction DAO structure. But simultaneously, we also know that we need resources for all three factions to construct everything possible. And of course, as a corporation, we also like to service everybody in all the factions. So are there any other arguments you can come up with that, for corporations and players that they should take into account when deciding between fully embracing a single faction or setting up shop in all three?
It's a really good question. And so one of the ways that we are facilitating economic activity cross faction is through the passport system. And so once again, people that were involved in the Rebirth campaign are getting passports dropped on them, but those will also be purchasable. That passport is what enables you to interact with and trade and facilitate commerce cross faction. With respect to the faction system itself, the current proposal is that we do restrict registration to a single faction, and then you are committed to the economic development of that faction, as well as expanding borders and kind of increasing the power. But one balancing mechanism that we have in place is just kind of based on the fundamental economics of the game, in that everything is in finite supply, including the allocated emission of Atlas into the game and Polis into the game. And so over time, if a certain faction gets oversaturated with players, making it disproportionately powerful, the proportional share of rewards would actually go down substantially per player. And so in that scenario, it would actually make a lot of sense to register in a separate faction, a new faction, and we might have to figure out what that mechanic is that either allows for that, and it could be time-based, like time restricted, and how frequently you can change. But nevertheless, I'm kind of speculating there. But changing to a different faction that's the underdog would actually lead to higher financial rewards for people that are participating in that economy. So we think that it'll naturally come to a balance because everybody's trying to look to maximize their yield from time spent in the game.
Thank you for that answer. That's exactly what's going to happen indeed. And I know you guys have been busy with contemplating if you're indeed fixed in a faction or if you can move later on. But I know many people are contemplating just setting up 3 different accounts, one per faction. So my question is actually more tuned in that direction. Do you foresee that makes sense, or do you think there's a really compelling reason why people should not do that?
I mean, I could make a couple of arguments why they wouldn't want to do that, and it kind of speaks to the experience tree and specialization tree that takes place on each individual character. You know, you're going to get I would say diminishing returns if you're trying to play against multiple characters. You can only, an individual can only play a single character at a time. Now, the option would exist for you to maybe employ somebody and pay them to play your character in a different faction. But if you're just an individual, you're not going to be able to operate across all of those. Unless you're like my friend Ixit, who was running like 5 EverQuest accounts at the same time and running his own groups. So some people will be able to do it, but we don't necessarily want to restrict the behavior. At least that's my understanding of our perspective on it right now. But if you're leveling up in one faction and improving your character in one faction, the trade-off is that you won't be able to do that in another. And the feature set and accessibility to enhanced mechanics will come with being at the higher level or higher tiers of character development.
All right, thank you very much for that question, Michael. And yeah, I pass it on to the next. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, man. We really appreciate your support and always the great questions. Santi, I do have another engagement in 5 minutes. We can probably take one more question here, and then we'll wind this down for today.
Sounds good, man. Sounds good. And thank you, Fancracker, for always bringing good questions here. We have Hunter ADH here in stage. Welcome.
So, quick question for you guys. You guys did a Medium post about Animoca I don't even know how to say it. Animoca Brands, how they're now a stakeholder with you guys. There's a little paragraph in there that talks about, for instance, a gamer on an Ethereum-powered Animoca Brands platform could easily transition back and forth between the game and Star Atlas. Can you expand upon that? Like, what is there an example or something you could kind of like to talk about how that would work or what that might look like in the future?
Yeah, very forward thinking with that. Again, as I just said, we are looking at supporting Solana exclusively, but to the extent that bridges with alternative chains or protocols exists, then and something like Wormhole coming online, that would mean that a user with assets in, let's use Decentraland as an example, maybe an avatar in Decentraland would have the ability to bridge that over to Solana. And to the extent that it would meet our quality standards or kind of the framework and protocol the standard that we're building around visual display inside Star Atlas, it would be feasible, at least for any asset on any chain to be recognized inside Star Atlas, and vice versa, by the way. It's very possible that one of our ships, one of our models, could go and be put on display inside Decentraland, right? So I'm not sure if that fully answers your question, but that's one of the beauties of the seamlessness of blockchain, is that there's no real restricted access between the data layer itself to the extent that the bridges exist.
Yeah, for sure. So in the Medium article, you're just kind of speculating what could happen. There's you don't have any like news to share or anything. That's something in development with those guys to work on something sandbox or something like that.
I think Matei actually wrote that, so Star Savage here on stage, and he could probably maybe answer a little more directly on that single paragraph. But I think the point of the article is just simply that Animoca Brands is a major player in the blockchain gaming space. They hold a lot of IP across like major traditional brands, including brands like Disney and Star Wars, for example. And so whether we do that on Ethereum or do it on Solana, they will be an amazing partner at helping us attract new users, grow the economy of Star Atlas, and then introduce new assets that are maybe more familiar with people. This is not alpha, but I'll just say, like, if you could fly around in a Millennium Falcon in Star Atlas, I think a lot of people would probably love that idea. And so from the brand IP standpoint, we see them as a great potential partner moving into the future, as well as their ability to accelerate people's awareness of what we're doing.
Awesome. Perfect. Thanks. Appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you. So
Thank you, Hunter. Okay.
yeah, Santi, so
let's finish here.
Yeah, no, it was another.
I would like to say thank you. I think I speak, I am the voice of the community by saying this, and thank you for joining today and answering all the questions, man. Super appreciated.
Yeah, guys, I'm loving it. Social channels are just exploding right now. We're, doubling in community size over a couple of weeks. So we love to see it. We love the enthusiasm. Really happy you're here, and just look forward to continuing this conversation into the future. So everyone have a fantastic weekend and rest of your day, and we will all catch up with you soon.
Okay, this is the end of today's Townhall, and thank you everyone for joining today. Big shout out to everyone here. Bye-bye.